Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Sports Wrap. Guess what? We revamped the lineup a little bit. Two of them are definitely keepers, and the other one is as versatile as it can get. And George Eichhorn has been with me forever. And anyways, I'm excited for this show, more so for Jillian and Cody. These two youngsters here are definitely going to make a lot of news in the hockey world in the coming years for sure. So with that said, we have George Eichhorn. Welcome back, George.
Thank you. Good to be here, Scott, and look forward to it.
Jillian, I had really a blast with you last week on the Motor City Madhouse show, and I'm glad now that you're going to settle into this show as well, and I'm proud of what we have here. You're one of those individuals for whom I've met on LinkedIn, and I am really looking forward to seeing your journey, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to go out there and be there with you. Okay, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Cody Spink, who earned himself a permanent spot on Sports Wrap with his excellent performance over the summer. Well, guess what? That only earned you a visit. We'll be doing this show probably 3 times a month anyways, or possibly 4, depending on how deep we get into the season. But right now, for the time being, it's 3, but it'll be 4. And Mike Santos is due back after, Thanksgiving Day. So, meanwhile, it'll be an opportunity for us to have fun with Jillian and Cody as well. So Mark Maraday will eventually get on down the road. So Jillian, for those of you that did not watch our show last week, why don't you give me a brief synopsis of your story, how you got into sports media?
Yeah. So a brief synopsis. I'll give the short story.
Okay.
I'm from Long Island. I played lacrosse in my undergrad. Kind of decided I wanted to stay in sports, so I went and got my master's in sports journalism and broadcasting at Syracuse. And now I do sports broadcasting and play-by-play analyst stuff, and then stuff like this as well.
Great stuff. Okay. Well, there you go, George. There you go, Cody.
Yep.
For those of you who didn't see our show, we did it last week live on the Motor City Madhouse show. I believe we did it last Thursday, right, Jillian? I think.
Yeah.
Right. So now you could go ahead and check back in the archives there. For those of you that missed shows, no problem. They're all there on YouTube as well. So let's get down to business. Battle Stars forward Jamie Benn suffered a collapsed lung and will miss the beginning of the season. He's being reevaluated in late October, which is about now. George Eichhorn, some thoughts about Jamie Benn.
Well, anytime you have something like this happen with your club and one of your players, it's never a fun situation. As we all know, Jamie's an important part of that team. And, the thing is, you don't want to rush people back. If you start rushing guys back, and I don't think you do when you get to the outstanding training staff that I'm sure they have there. Jim Nill is the general manager. And, I'm sure they're going to be very, very closely watching him. But I like Jamie. He's a good player, and he means a lot to that team. So anytime, like I said, you get a guy, we all know there's so many injuries in hockey, but you got to get him back, get him well, and so he can contribute, because that's one of the teams that, is highly expected to be in the, in the thick of the playoff chase for the Stanley Cup.
And Jillian?
Yeah, and you're talking about a guy who's been with a specific club for such a long period of time. The fan base is obviously itching to have him back as soon as possible. But as you were just saying, you can't really rush any injury, especially that type of injury, because if you come back too early, the next thing you know, he's out for the rest of the season, and that's the last thing you want. But we're seeing some other people step up and kind of fill in within that role of that leadership role that he was providing for that team.
Cody?
No, yeah, especially with the new coaching staff in there, missing your captain like that can, sometimes kind of change a team. So hopefully he, gets healthy, and that fixes that collapsed lung, and hopefully he's back and ready for them to make that deep playoff run that like they normally do. So I think he's a big part of that team.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the history of hockey, okay? And I mean, in Ohio. A date to remember, the Columbus Blue Jackets went out there and played their first game in franchise history on September 20th, 2000 at the brand new Nationwide Arena. This marked the first NHL hockey game in Ohio since the Cleveland Barons ceased operations in 1978. I had a chance to go to Nationwide Arena when the Red Wings were up there, And it was a pretty neat place because what's nice about that arena is the practice facility is actually attached to that arena. So if you go there, you'll find to a certain side of it, to the left side, as I was approaching the building, that it's all connected to one place. So let's talk about the history, George, of the Cleveland Barons, which isn't very long. And keep in mind that they were the California Golden Seals, I believe, at one time, right, George?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And,
Going
and,
to
yeah. And they, I actually I had high hopes for Cleveland way back in the day. I mean, obviously this is way before Cody and Jill, but the Cleveland market, as far as for hockey goes, it is soft. I mean, they've had minor league teams and that, but the NHL tried to make it work, obviously, by bringing the Barons there. But it like you said, Scott, in '78 it folded. But I really think that this moving on to Columbus, I know you're mostly focusing on Cleveland, but Columbus Blue Jackets, they got a great market there. And it's a better fit. It's a better fit all the way around. I know Cleveland's their biggest city, but Columbus is right up there too. And all the students, all the young people from college, and I think it's a much better fit.
Well, one of the things that didn't help the Barons was they played in a place called the Richfield Coliseum, which was really actually out in the suburbs, so to speak, where it wasn't as easy to get to as what they've done in downtown Cleveland. But yeah, I thought they had a shot to do well, but in the end, being the only game in town in Columbus, to me, of the four major sports, certainly it makes it natural. Jill?
I mean, I can't say much on that because it was so a little bit before me, but I was gonna say I just remember the Blue Jackets being there for as long as I can remember. So for me, I can't comment on that, but I'm happy that they're there now.
Well, one thing I'll tell you right now, Jill, it's okay if you don't come on everything, because what will happen is you're going to walk away a lot smarter than you did when you came on, because you're going to learn a lot about hockey. It's no problem. It really is no problem to me. I got to make sure that you, when it's all said and done, you'll be much more knowledgeable than you were before you came on the show. No problem. You're great stuff, Jill. All right, Cody.
There was a team in Cleveland. No, I'm just kidding. No, like I said, Columbus, I mean, I know they've struggled most of their franchise history. I think only 3 or 4 playoff appearances, 1 playoff series win. So like I said, don't know much about the Cleveland Barons. But I know the city of Cleveland's pretty struggled up and down and with sports teams, it seems like, other than the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think it's the only team that's actually had a winning team ever there, at least in my timeline. So I mean, I'm happy that Columbus has a team. I mean, and they're looking pretty dangerous in the near future.
Yeah, they sure do. Okay. Well, I know a team that Jillian's all too familiar with is the New York Rangers, right?
Yes, they're my favorite.
Yeah, there you go. I'll make sure there's a
shirt on.
Here, let me see it. I can't see it.
It's kind of hard to see because it's like.
Oh, that's good enough.
Oh, nice.
All right. Well, she wears her colors really proudly.
Yeah.
All right. It's okay. She wears her colors proudly. Don't worry, Jillian. I'll make sure there's some Rangers hay on these shows so you can talk about it. And wait till we get Neil Smith on one of these times. I'm working on that through Santos. Can you imagine if you were on that show with them?
I mean, they're playing tonight at 9, so.
Well, don't you be talking about that. I promise you that. You'll be done. All right. But anyways, the way we're going to get done is going to let you know that New York Rangers President and General Manager Chris Drury announced that JT Miller has been named the 29th captain in franchise history. We're going to start off with Mrs. Ranger. And that's Jillian. What are your thoughts about JT Miller?
I like it. He's very different in the past of what Rangers captains have been. I think that we're kind of looking for a culture change right now as a team. Mm-hmm. And I think that having someone that's very, the word aggressive isn't the right word, but passionate. He's very heartfelt in what he did. But some people thought it should have been Trocheck, but I think you could have made a case for, I mean, you're talking people who are back. I'm iffy on either one as well.
Fair enough. Cody?
No, I mean, I like JT Miller. He's someone that I feel like he's someone that hates to lose more than loves to win. And I'd much rather have someone that leads my team that hates to lose. Like I said, I liked him in Vancouver. You know, I know I probably nobody got along with him there, but I mean, the guy knows how to lead a team. I mean, I know the Rangers are struggling right now, but so I think the whole team is struggling right there in New York. But I feel like if anyone's going to turn him around, it's going to be JT Miller. Like what Jill was saying, like he's not like he just has that certain thing to him where he knows like how to push a team. He may not do it everyone's favorite way, but like I said, I rather have someone that hates to lose more than anything, because that's how I am. I hate losing more than I love winning.
GMTA, great minds think alike. I'm with you there, Jillian. I use great minds think alike, and he just nailed it right there on the bullseye. Good stuff, Cody. Okay, George.
Yeah, he's entering his 14th season in the NHL, Miller. And as we know, last year he split time between Vancouver and the Rangers. It's not your traditional choice of a captain. And by that, I mean, typically it's, the number one guy, number one draft choice, or else your number one scorer. Longevity sometimes plays into it. But I like this too. And I'll tell you why, because it is, 14 years for him now in the NHL. So he does have obviously a great knowledge of what it takes to bring a winner. And the New York Rangers have been looking for that. They've been searching for that. They need that leadership. And they're in a great market. They're in a great historic arena, as we know, Madison Square Garden. And Miller, I think, is a very good choice. He's a tough guy. He's helped other teams advance in the playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs, and hopefully it'll work out okay for them.
Well, I mean, he gives Mike Sullivan, like Jillian mentioned, that they pretty much have. There's a lot of new involved with the Rangers. Yeah, new coach, and he feels that he trusts JT Miller. And a side note, he did return, I think, to Vancouver a couple of days ago, and he got a warm welcome when he went back there as well. So it shows you how much they mean out in Vancouver for the guy. It really is. So JT Miller, a good player. Don't know what will happen there, but I do know that Jillian will definitely make the 9:00 face-off. I can promise you that.
It'll be okay if I'm a couple minutes late. I'll live.
I'm not worried about it. It's okay. I know you will. But no, with all due respect, that was a classy move by the Vancouver Canuck fan base to go ahead and give him a warm greeting, and more power to him. So
he put out a statement before he went back to that arena for the first time, because there was kind of like a misconstrued thing that people thought that he was mad at the fans or something. So he kind of said something at a press conference, kind of clearing the air before that game.
Do you have any recollections of what that statement pretty much said?
I'm not going to quote something verbatim that I don't know verbatim, but I can look it up.
Well, generalities will work. I don't care if you come up with
it was
something.
Basically like he had no hard feelings, that it was a win-win for Vancouver and him, and it was a decision for him and his family that he had to make.
Good enough for me? Well, that wasn't too hard, was it? Okay, anyways, we'll continue on. The Canadiens have traded Carey Price contract to San Jose. Also, they get a 2026 fifth round pick. Montreal receives Gannon Larocque, George Eichhorn.
Well, like every trade, it's going to be dependent upon what kind of results they get. Obviously, it goes without saying. Price, Price has had a good career. I mean, it's just one of these things where both sides hope that they needed and got what they needed, in other words, for this transaction to take place. I've always liked Carey Price. He's not, in the top echelon, but boy, oh boy, it's going to be interesting to see, because a lot is expected of Montreal this year, especially. They're right up there right now, battling Detroit, for the one and top position in the division. But there's going to be a lot of movement, as there always is. But I've liked Carey Price. I think he'll do well there. I really do. The other guys I don't know too well, but Price I do. I think it's a great decision.
Jill?
Yeah, I mean, this is all kind of like centered around like price caps, quite honestly. It was just more of around the fact that Montreal couldn't handle the amount that was his contract. And then you had San Jose, who was looking to stay above that minimum. So that's kind of like, I don't want to say the only reason why it happened, but a little bit, because the reality is that he's probably not going to play there throughout the rest of his contract.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Cody?
Well, my favorite part about this whole trade is when Tyler Toffoli pulled a prank on Celebrini and Will Smith, saying that, "Oh yeah, Price is playing for us too," and that I think that was and they actually believed Toffoli that Carey Price was going to come back and play. But like I said, this was just a straight salary dump. San Jose has all the cap space in the world right now, and the Canadians are making a push. They're building a great team for the future and everything like that. So they needed to get Price's contract out here, and I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Carey Price play at least one game as a Shark. That'd be kind of fun to see. I mean, especially with the way San Jose's goaltenders have been playing this year, they kind of need Price.
They're both a little young too.
And Nedeljkovic isn't that young.
He's in his 30s or something, but in comparison to Price, he has a couple more years under his belt.
Yeah, Askarov has been. Yeah, I know he's on the younger side. Nedeljkovic has been in the league long enough, but I thought it'd be fun to just see Price play at least one game as a Shark. That'd be just great to see.
Well, what this really reminds me of, George's 221. Pavel Datsyuk got sent to the Arizona Coyotes, but he never played for them. And the word salary dump is something that I definitely believe was a major factor behind this move. Great stuff by Ollia. All right, with that said, Martin Necas from Colorado got a contract extension for 8 years, $11.5 million. Here's your annual. That's what he'll get annually every year. So, George, what are your thoughts about the moves here?
Well, I mean, they're trying to lock him in, obviously. I mean, he's been a contributor for that team, and Necas is he's a good player. I mean, he has been a good player, and this is a long extension, and this is what a lot of these agents are looking for right now. They want that security. They want the long extensions on their teams, and hockey is, in that, right in that, soft spot for giving those out, I should say. The thing that you always got to watch for, which you never can control, is the value towards the end of the contract, because obviously when these players get these long contracts, and I'm not saying that Martin Necas did not deserve it. I'm not saying that, but it's just a long time. So, and you're talking about, again, a solid team here, a contending team, and that's one of their things they wanted to get decided, and that they went ahead with it. So it goes, I guess, all the way through 2033-34 season. But, he's a good, he's 26 years old. So come on. I mean, he's got a great future ahead of him, and the Avalanche sure hope for great things out of him.
Cody?
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure they didn't want to do round 2 of the whole Mikko Rantanen situation. So, I would have much rather have Rantanen at $12 million than Necas at 11.5, but Necas is still a fantastic player. He's at least going to be a point a game player, especially playing alongside Makar and McKinnon. They're going to be a good trio for the long run in Colorado. I've always loved Necas' game. I like the way he plays. I was hoping the Ducks would get him when he was available, but that didn't end up happening because we needed that extra winger, scorer just like he is. I like the way he plays, and who wouldn't want to play next to McKinnon for the next 8 years?
All right. Well, we'll have a good segue to that in a few minutes. But meanwhile, we're going to go to we're going to let Jill talk about it.
It's all good.
No, go ahead.
Sorry. I mean, basically along this thing, I feel like we're seeing these different types of contracts nowadays where they're trying to pin people down for a longer period of time. It's all about longevity and just making sure that they're having people who are going to be able to work together for a long period of time, because these short-term trade-offs aren't good for anyone involved.
Sorry, Jillian, I had a senior moment there.
It's all good.
I saved. I'm glad you got to talk about senior moment, people. But now we're going to go to a station break. Candy Ebling will come in, and we have 4 more topics to go out there and talk about before we call it a night.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. And how appropriate. Scott on the left is the author of the book. He wrote it, the Motor City Madmouth. And then the other guy on top, Mr. George Eichhorn, wrote the foreword. So they're both involved in the book. Great book, gentlemen. Get your copy today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. Talks about Scott's 40 plus years in the media. Lots of stories. Lots of it's kind of it almost is like a little textbook though too. So it like mixes a lot of different things. So if you're interested in the media business, it's definite must read. There's also a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content, so go check it out. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to advertise, you can call Scott, 954-304-4941. And if you want to be a guest or have topic ideas, you can always email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. Last but not least, you see that red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner amongst the Halloween-ish, ghoulish things. You can hit that subscribe button and then turn on your notifications so you're notified every time we go live. Monday nights, we talk baseball. Tuesday nights, we talk football. Wednesday nights on Sports Exchange, you never know what Scott's got up his bag of tricks. All kinds of different topics. Thursday night on Fire Up. Again, another show where you don't necessarily know what you're going to get until you tune in. So you have to tune in to find out. And then, of course, on Sports Wrap, we talk hockey. And then Scott's got his one-on-one interview show, the Motor City Mad Mouth Show. And then we also have No Limits, where a couple Wednesdays of the month, you will find us talking with a 1994 former Olympic bobsledder, where he talks about CTE and his life after bobsledding, and very interesting story. So go check out our YouTube channel and turn on your notifications. Back to you, Scott.
Thank you, Candy. Well done. All right, 4 more topics to get to. And we'll start off with Nathan MacKinnon, as Mr. Speak talked about. We'll transition to it. Nathan MacKinnon's sticks don't last long. The Colorado alternate captain uses 400 sticks per season. 400 of them. My gosh. I wouldn't want to go out there and have to pay for that thing. And I'm sure that he doesn't have to call it a avalanche expense. As far as I'm concerned, they probably don't care if he's productive. Right, Cody?
Yeah, I mean, someone that goes through more than 2 sticks a game is crazy.
Yeah, surreal.
I hope he has a good brand deal with that brand too.
Yeah,
I mean that he's a good face of a brand too. If you want a good stick, but I mean that's just crazy. I can't imagine going through more than 2 sticks a game. I remember hearing, was it Jeff Merrick was saying that there was a guy that used to use 3 different sticks each game, and each stick would get shorter and shorter and shorter throughout the game, so that way he wasn't always standing up during the end of the game. It kept him more on his toes and everything. I forgot who the player was, but it just reminded me of like what MacKinnon goes through. Like 400 sticks, that's a lot of wood.
Yeah, and even I don't know if the Louisville Slugger had any hitter that was worth a lot. I don't think they're doing the bats anymore. The Louisville Slugger, 400 sticks. That's surreal. What do you think about this one, Joe?
I think considering he already has 17 points on the season, I think they're already I think they're good if he's breaking sticks as long as he's doing that. I also think he's just particular from what I've seen. I think he likes to alteration, so it makes it a lot more susceptible to breaking. He's also a strong guy. Like, it's not surprising that sticks are breaking.
I've heard that saying 6 in zone may break my bones. Well, that's all well. My names will never hurt me. But this is definitely a different way to define what the word stick means. I had no choice. I had to put that analogy out there. Sorry, people. If you don't like it, let me know. I understand. If you do like it, you can let me know that too. All right, George.
Well, listen, I'm kind of with Cody on this one. He could break as many sticks and Jillian on this subject matter because he's got the stats going, man. He's been a very steady player. He's won 2 World Cups in international competition representing Canada. He's won the Memorial Cup, won the Stanley Cup. He's All-Star games. I mean, you read up on this guy, and it is strange though. I mean, I've never heard of quite that kind of reputation for breaking as many sticks as he does, but I'll tell you what, he is a very valuable player to that team and will continue to be. But yeah, he's going to have to take some sticks and break them up for whatever. I don't know. Give them away. Give them away. That brings up a good question, though. What do you guys think? Do they give the broken sticks to the kids after the game, or does it have to be the complete stick?
I mean, would you want your son getting a broken stick from a player?
I know, but I was just wondering.
I guarantee you, if I got one of those things, I'm whacking my little brother with that stick, and my parents I would have been in huge trouble.
Yeah, true.
But, I mean, because splinters and everything. I think they just, I don't know what they do with it, but I think if they give them a full stick, and I know a lot of teams what they're doing is they're making like these cheaper like souvenir hockey sticks. They're cheaper made, and because I know the Ducks are doing that. There was like 3 or 4 other teams I've seen doing that, like at the end of the game, where they'll give a stick away. So I think that's what they're doing now. It's a lot cheaper than giving away the actual player's stick.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think, Jill? This Icon presents an intriguing question.
I'm assuming that they're not giving away the broken sticks only because next thing you know, some kid gets hurt and then like the team's in trouble. If I was a kid and my mom saw me get one, she'd be like, that's cool. Like you got someone's broken stick. But like some other people, if their kid got hurt, then they would like come after whoever gave them the broken stick. So I don't know.
I don't know. I feel bad for the little brother in this analogy. The little brother never wins if somebody gets a problem.
Well, my brother knows that the hard way.
Yeah, well, I'll leave it alone. I'll do some on this program nobody ever does. No comment on the rest of it, but Eichhorn did present a unique angle.
Yeah, that's a good question, though.
Well, it is good. I like Eichhorn. You bring up those once in a while. That adds a little flavor to this, man.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll talk about some trades during the offseason. Since our offseason was a little bit sparse because of when you talked about early July, the only major signings at that point were Marco Rossi, Frank Nazar, and Jackson Blake. George, what are your thoughts about the fact that it was a relatively quiet offseason with the exception of these 3 fellows?
Yeah, I think that, it goes in ebbs and flow. I think, when there's a lot of players movement, there's a lot of movement of among the players, it generally is connected with either they want to get out of town, they don't like the atmosphere for whatever reason, or they got an aggressive agent looking somewhere else to place them. And it did get off to a slow start. You're right. I mean, Rossi, there were not as many big names as we typically see moving around this offseason. And people were fans, especially when you don't make the playoffs, especially or you get eliminated early. You're looking for that. You're looking to that time frame. It's become so exciting for hockey fans that early July when all this stuff goes down. But I thought there'd be more action than that, Scott. I really did.
Cody,
I thought this was one of the most boring off seasons we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Me and my dad really had to, make up some fun episodes just to make the summer go by. And like I said, other than after Ehlers was, I would say, the top one after July 1st. And after that, it was just Rossi. That Nazar deal's looking great right now. Jackson Blake, I mean, someone that got an 8-year deal just after his rookie year is crazy. But like I said, all these guys, very young, a lot of talent. I hope they all have a fantastic years. But that Frank Nazar, that deal already looks like a steal already. I can tell you that. And I'm not a big fan of Chicago, but they did something right there.
Mm-hmm.
Joe.
It's also a crazy amount of money that he's getting. Like I was looking at that the other day and I could not believe like how much money he was getting. He deserves it, but it's just like crazy because you don't see those numbers often sometimes in hockey, but we're starting to see it more often now as it's continuing to grow. But that's also part of the reasons why we didn't see as many trades. It's because of certain salaries that some of these teams just don't want to take on. It's also partially because a lot of these teams are in a rebuilding phase,
right?
And they would rather stick and focus on their own talent rather than go out and get someone new. That's also probably why a majority of these signings were younger guys. They'd rather bring in someone younger who could flip a franchise around than bring someone older and just cross your fingers.
Yeah, excellent point. That's what Steve Eisenman is doing actually in Detroit. He's probably had opportunities to dive into bigger free agents, but he's trying to go young. I mean, that's his Eisner plan philosophy, and I'm not going to try to predict what's going to happen this year. They've been out of postseason for a while, but he's sticking with young players. Now a lot of teams are catching up to what's actually happened, and they're back in rebuilding mode too. So these rebuilds could take a while where you'll see more and more teams miss the playoffs until they get it figured out. But great point all the way around. That's why I brought the topic up, because of what Jillian said. You know, that being going out there and being able to understand why you aren't going to think one or two big splash out in the offseason is going to make a team. Keep in mind, you got 25, 27 players at a given night. So you can't, one big contract, and if that individual gets hurt, then you got a big problem to begin with.
Sure.
Great point all the way around.
Yeah.
We're going to Anaheim for the last two topics. The guy that knows a whole lot about that is Cody Spink. The Anaheim Ducks have locked in Jackson. I'm sorry, Jackson Lacombe with an 8-year, $72 million extension. Goes for $9.9 million on the annual value of the contract, making him the highest paid player in franchise history. Good move, Cody.
Oh, fantastic move. One is because we'll talk about the next one in a second. But he finally we had 5 RFAs due for a contract next year. Lacombe was one of them. And we all know Verbeek's, I don't know why he can't sign RFAs early, but he finally got one done. This kid deserves it, man. I didn't know if you guys knew this, but in college, Brock Faber and Jackson Lacombe played defense together. You want to know who ran the first power play? Lacombe, not Faber. It was Lacombe. So he showed up last year. He deserves every dollar of that contract. I love the way he plays. He's fast. He moves that puck so well. He's such an elegant skater and everything like that. And just the way he gets in and out of like sticky situations, it's just so fantastic to watch. And the speed he has to get through the neutral zone and start that power play, it's just so fun to watch with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say he's great in transition and he's great on the rush. Like he is very, very shifty. I also think it's partially because, Cody, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this because you would know better than me. I think he was a forward at some point at Minnesota.
You're 100% right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So obviously that can play into a piece of it as well, why he is so good, like, and so fast. Yeah. I do like this move for Anaheim. I think some people who, if you're not following the Ducks, might have looked at this and been like a little bit of a surprise because it's not one of the teams that are like so in your face, but I'm not necessarily surprised by this.
Yeah, George.
Yeah, again, you got a real young guy here, third season in the NHL, Lacombe, that is, and 6'2", 205, very steady, very important part of that piece of the puzzle there that the Anaheim Ducks are using to get off to a good start so far this year, 5-3-1. Yeah, I mean, when you got to get these guys under contract, you kind of breathe a sigh of relief, a collective sigh of relief, like they say. If you're a fan or even if you're an executive in a front office, anywhere on the spectrum, you're happy to have him in there because he has continued to show his importance to that Anaheim team.
Well, put it to you this way. Fans can say what they want, but if you make a move like this, it does impact the fan base, keeps things interesting. This will certainly help Anaheim do that, as is the next one that I'm about to talk about. The Anaheim Ducks have locked in, actually finally agreed to a 6-year deal, $7 million annual value with Mason McTavish, age 22. He had 22 goals, 52 points through 76 games with Anaheim last season. Cody, back to you. Mason McTavish.
So this was a funny one. So the Saturday he got signed, I went on a full rant that morning on the podcast about why Verbeek needs to do his job and sign McTavish. I went off that podcast because he's missing time with the brand new coaching staff with some new players we brought in, and he's missing so much time and everything. And I kid you not, 2 minutes after I ended the live stream, I go on Twitter, he signed. I was like, wow. So then I had to go back and make it like, oh, breaking news. Mason McTavish signed. And then all of a sudden, this whole 6-7 thing just blew up after Mason McTavish. I still don't understand what it's about. But this is someone that I've wanted to see locked up long term. He's going to be our 2C for the foreseeable future. Someone that, he's a power forward. When he's not getting kicked out of faceoffs, he's usually winning them. He has that really nice hard shot, and he's a good two-way forward as well. I mean, we all saw what he did in that World Juniors Championship where he stopped that puck on the goal line and helped Canada win that World Juniors. And what my opinion, I think he's gonna be the next captain when Gudas is gone. I could see him wearing the C in the near future for the Ducks.
Great stuff. Okay, Joe.
Some people were arguing that they think that he should have been paid more.
I agree. I would have given him 8 by 8.
Yeah, people were saying that because he's a local guy and like just wanted to stay, basically, that he just was like, all right, like whatever. I hope it ends up like working out for him in the long run, because like you said, he is very good on both sides of the puck. But yeah, I would agree with the conversation that he did deserve to get paid a little bit more, but I don't think that's what the contract was about for him. I think it was about him wanting to be in his home for X amount of years.
Yeah, nothing wrong with wanting to play home either, for sure. Be around family. If it works out, it's even better. Okay, George.
Yeah, I think, it was a good move. He's the 3rd overall pick in that draft of 21. And, he had a great season last year. What was it? 22 goals. And I think that, he's definitely a leader of that team. You want to lock him in. Like you said, I mean, Pat Verbeek, the GM, probably waited maybe a little bit too long for some people, but
a little bit.
Yeah, just a little. But this guy is a keeper, man. You're right. He's only 22 years old, McTavish, and he's got a great shot. He's a great, two-way player. I like him. I mean, he's a good player, and you're right. You want to hang on to those guys, especially the younger ones that have identified, and that's what you see across the NHL. Most of the teams try to do that. They all can't do it. Like Scott said, you can't overboard and give too much money out when you're, fielding your whole team, your whole roster. So, but that was a good move. Even if it took just a little bit longer. Yeah.
Well, it's all about keeping your core players is really what it is. You keep your core players. And then
it was too long for my comfort.
What's that, Cody? I didn't catch that, Cody.
Oh, sorry. Signing him was too long for my comfort.
Right. Well, like I'll tell you, because God delays does not mean that God denies. Believe me, look at my book that Jillian, when I had invested in. I don't know if I put that one in there or not, but Joe will have a chance to look at myself and a few people.
I'll let you know.
I know she will. I know you will. Thanks. So, but I don't remember. But who knows? Maybe I'll mention the other one. All I know is the most likely people that end up in the second, which I'm going to be working on hopefully after the first of the year, after I get to this, is I'm looking at 3 people that are going to be in the next book. So, right, Jillian, you got to get in there. You keep progressing the way you are. That'll be good. That'll make me feel like a genius for writing 2 of these in the first place. I'll always like to freshen it up. That's what I'm going to do too. And I think my author days will probably likely be over. But yeah, it's because God delays does not mean not be nice. You're going to find a lot of topics we're going to be talking about over the next few weeks are going to involve players, fresh faces, and new starts. And I'll figure out what we're going to talk about. But today was a good opportunity to touch into some of them. So any closing thoughts? First, George, closing thoughts, okay?
Yeah, Scott, I just wanted to say that, the fans of Detroit, even though they might be impatient, like you said earlier, Scott, Yzerman and owner Chris Ilitch are not going to deviate from this plan. And they have gotten off to a good start, which I expected them to, because Todd's a good coach. He's a guy there that demands a lot, but he's somebody that has certainly tried to whip the Red Wings into a better contending team, and going 7-3 so far. And they got a grueling weekend, of course, with the Kings and the Ducks. and I think Las Vegas is on this trip as well. I mean, it's one of their longer trips of the year. But all that to say, the Detroit fans are a little bit excited. But I'll tell you what, they're excited too for next weekend here in Detroit. We are celebrating the centennial, 100 years of the Detroit Red Wings, and they're having all kinds of reunions. I'm talking Bowman, Shanahan, all these guys are coming back.
Okay.
So it'll be a great story. Not this weekend, but the following weekend in Detroit.
Yeah, Scotty Ball. Brendan Shanahan could go. He's not working.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, no, he just got hired, didn't he?
Who hired him?
The league did. I think he's part of the doing something with the league now.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know. Anyways, I feel bad for him. Been winning with the Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
Well, how about those Toronto Blue Jays? But Joel, so let me ask you. Well, as part of your closing thoughts, out in Anaheim, how is Joel Quenneville being, treated there, and how do they like that hire?
So when he was first hired, it was very 50-50, I would say, over social media. A lot of people canceled their season tickets. A lot of people were happy. Like, for me, he wasn't my first choice just because of the baggage. But if we were just talking hockey-wise, to go from someone like Cronin to Quenneville, oh my God, that's like going from a Hall of Fame coach to having a traffic cone coaching you. I could not stand Cronin. Quenneville's hockey-wise, probably he's going to be a Hall of Fame coach. So three Stanley Cups, second most wins in NHL history. And you can already tell what he's doing with this Anaheim team is great. And to be honest, other than the Ducks, when they scored that last-minute power play goal in the home opener, the second time it was that loud is when they announced Joel Quenneville during the announcements during the home opener. That arena was loud. And I was actually kind of shocked. I thought I was going to hear some boos, but there was a lot more cheering than I expected. And I was one of those people that was cheering because what he's done with this team, I'm loving the way they're playing right now.
Well, let me tell you, Joel Quenneville's a major reason the Florida Panthers are where they are right now. Don't kid yourself. You talk about the other coaches they brought in afterwards, but Joel Quenneville's a guy who I think has turned it around. All right, Jillian, some closing thoughts.
I mean, you're talking about the 100 years. I mean, the Rangers were doing the same thing as well.
Yeah.
They got the whole blue jerseys going on. I feel like it wasn't the right blue, if I'm, but that's just me being picky. I think it looked nice, but I don't think it was the right shade. But not that really matters, but there's that. I'm really just waiting for Trocheck to get off of injury reserve. So we'll see how long that lasts and what his impact will be if he can come back in a timely fashion or not.
Yeah, Vincent Trocheck is a heck of a player. He has another one-time Florida Panther for sure. All right, beautiful. My closing thoughts, you guys are all fantastic. That's all I need to say. I'm always searching for a good combination. I found a few here. I wait till Mark Merday eventually gets involved. And Jillian, just you watch. Mike Santos has already been prepped for you already, so he's looking forward to seeing you later on. Look at her. I mean, that's unbelievable. Jillian's going to find out in no time, George, and I want you to let her know this. And even Cody a little bit. We do bring in some pretty good names, don't we, Cody and George?
Oh yeah. Being able to talk to the guy that helped the Rangers win that Stanley Cup, that was that was fun. And Alan was so great too. I said I've had so much fun on this show, and I can't wait to be on just the future of the show with you guys. I'm gonna have so much fun.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll be reaching out to Alan Greenberg before long. And when I was talking to Mike Santos about it the other day, enjoy your time off because I'll make sure that we have some pretty good topics. I want to see how my kids are doing. I mean, and I take this the right way. Jillian and Cody, you guys are my kids, okay? I'm trying to develop the future, and I hope, Jillian, that you take it the right way, okay?
Yes,
when you're a guy like,
I said it's all good.
I think of my kids. I want to see my kids go out there and do well. I really do. And when you bring in some fresh energy like I have with Jillian and I have with Cody, you guys are a breath of fresh air. I want to tell you, everybody, I wasn't feeling very good all day, but I said I have to get on and do this show no matter what because I have my kids on here and I want to see how this group does. Let me tell you, when I get off here and I'm done, I'm going back to bed. So it doesn't matter. I wasn't missing this show because of my kids. And of course, Icor is my partner in crime over the years. and him and I have done so much unbelievable stuff. And Jillian, I'm glad you finally had a chance to come on with George Eichhorn. Him and I have covered
Thank you.
Super Bowls, and we've done all kinds of crazy stuff for sure. So,
Yeah.
new era here on
That's
Sports Wrap. We have Jillian Schumacher. By the way, you have a car dealership named after you down in Delray Beach. I don't know if you knew that.
Didn't.
Yeah, I've actually leased a bunch of Jeeps from there down, but you do.
Are you,
And I have a-
are you missing some payment? Some money in your bank account? You should be getting some, money back for that.
Yeah. Probably.
when Jillian needs to get paid, we're going to have to go out there and find a good attorney. You can't use my name. I have a dealership. We'll see if we can work the angles. You never know if I have a attorney on. Just kidding. Like to lighten it up. But Jillian didn't know there's a place called Schumacher that does Jeeps and other stuff. And I've actually leased a lot of Jeeps. So just let you know, Joe. All right. So, but it's been a pleasure working with this group. And I'm looking forward to more episodes with Jill, Cody. Like Courtney and I, we do a lot together. So he just goes out there, and to me, we just have a blast together.
Yeah. Great
Maybe
stuff.
one of these days I'll incorporate a non-sports topic with this group here. If it's a lighthearted one, travel. How would you like that once in a while as a non-sports for travel? Jillian and Cody, do you like to travel?
I
Yeah.
love traveling.
What about you, Jill?
I love to travel.
Okay, well, I'll think of something to put in the next episode to keep it interesting. I have plenty of stuff out there. So meanwhile, all right, with that said, Jillian, please let everybody know how they can go hold you.
How they get a hold of me? They
Yeah.
can get a hold of me on my Instagram through Jillian_Schumacher if they would like.
So what I'm going to ask you to do, Jillian, on our next show Thursday night, it'll be your homework to see if you want me to ask your Syracuse head football coach a question. How does that? Because Syracuse will be coming down here to take on the Miami Hurricanes a week from Saturday. So
I'll think of something. Fran Brown.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I do the opposing teams these days. I have more fun trying to pick their brains. So that's nothing you can't handle, right, Jill?
No.
I know that. Great stuff, Jill. All right, Cody, let everybody know they can hold you.
You can find us at Royally Quacked on all social media and all podcast platforms, and even on Twitch and YouTube. We go live every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and you can watch me and my dad just give each other hell, especially since we each like our SoCal rival teams. I'm the Ducks fan, he's the Kings fan, and as I said, there's a lot of banter back and forth, and as I said, we have a lot of fun. And like I said, to get to talk hockey with my dad every week is like, I feel like one of the best things anyone can ask for.
Well, I'm sure your dad's proud of you now that you're on a national show that you can talk about him and your dad. And he always has an open invite to come on our show anytime he wants. So he can free
We'd
up
love
an
that.
hour. Well, we'll bring him on. Just give me a heads up so I can plan it. That's all.
Yep.
So, yeah. And one other thing I also want to mention, last week I had a good time with Stanford and their post game with talking to Frank Reich. As a lot of people know, he was a backup quarterback with the Lions, and Frank and I had a good time during the media availability. And I want to send a special shout out to the Stanford Communications Department for allowing me to get like 4 or 5 questions, and Frank Reich was absolutely fantastic. So getting up to these events are unbelievable, and I'm proud of Jill because she's out there doing play-by-play. She's out there doing this stuff, and that's one of the biggest things that impressed me, that she's doing it. I don't have to train her. She's doing a good job. All I want to do is give her opportunity on a different platform to be able to utilize her knowledge in a different way, like she's done on our opening act to what we're doing now. Don't worry, Jillian, you're going to make that hockey game. We'll have a few minutes to spare. You don't have to worry.
It's all good.
That's it. It is all good, Jill. All right, so George, let everybody know, get a hold of you.
Yeah, you can follow my writings at the South Florida Tribune website. I'm under the contributors section, covering the Motor City and all the sports in the Southeast Michigan. I also wrote a book called Detroit Sports Broadcasters on the Air, which chronicles over 90 years of sports broadcasting in Detroit, starting with the legendary Ty Tyson and going on to the legendary guys of today, such as Dan Miller and Brad Galley, and everywhere in between. So you can get a copy of my book at Amazon.com. There's a link to my book at the bottom of my column. Follow me here at 108 Stitches and the Sports Wrap Show and other areas, Sports Exchange, where Scott needs me. Follow me in the Detroit Monitor locally, and reach me at gicorn@yahoo.com.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rob Moroska. He's a guy that I work with on all over baseball coverage.
Good
Rob
guy.
is like you. Yeah, he is. Rob, like you, George, is very
Thank
versatile.
you.
He doesn't complain about anywhere we put him on. So Rob's a really big asset to the program for sure. So nice show today. Really enjoyed working with Jillian now in this format. As always, Cody earned his way on to get this show on Thursday night.
Yeah.
George, well,
Yeah.
what can I say?
Yeah.
We do a lot together. And so one last question, Jillian. How do you like the idea that you're on a show with two authors?
I love it. I think that's awesome. I
Thank
could
you.
never write a book, but I love it for you guys.
I could never write a book either.
Oh, never say never, guys. No.
Hey, I barely passed English to begin with. Okay.
No.
I was awful at math.
Oh, so I was good at math. English is not my first language.
Well,
Let's
that's
put
what
it that way.
happens. If you're smart with numbers, you're not going to be smart with the language, and vice versa. At least as I
Oh, yeah.
understand it.
And my parents will agree with that. That English is my worst language.
Yeah, well, if anything could fool anything, you're doing a heck of a job with your English repertoire here on this show.
Hey, I'm good at talking, but that's it.
That's
I'm good-
fucking
I've always
English,
been-
man.
Well, I can't write for anything.
That's okay. Don't have to. Just be
Yeah.
good enough on these shows so we can put you in the books if you don't have to write it. Just say chill,
Oh,
right?
See, you already got me there. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
good
going
with
to
that.
put you in. I'm putting her in too.
Let's do it.
Anybody that's a contributor to this platform is getting in that book, and I'll probably start at the beginning of January. I'm just trying to get through the rest of the year so I have all the content in my hand so that I can start outlining. Because once the outline process is done, and it won't be as long as the first book as well. It'll be a little bit shorter. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to give one special shout out before we call it night. Jill's going to do it actually. Your mom has a book. What is it?
Oh, yes, my mom does have a book. My mom is an author. It's called Don't Press Send. It's about a mindfulness approach to social media for children and kind of just parenting throughout this social media age.
Where can they get that book, Jill?
It's on Amazon.
Great stuff. All right. Well, that does it. Well, we got one more station break. Candy's going to give a preview for Fire Up. I want to thank my crew for this show. Done an excellent job. Every one of you. Can't say that enough times. So I'm proud of every one of the individuals on this show as well. All right, Candy, take us home.
The South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth. And the foreword was written by George Eichhorn. Great job, gentlemen. You can get this book. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. And we are working on the audiobook, so stay tuned for that. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to advertise, you can call Scott 954-304-4941. If you want to be a guest or have topic ideas, you can always email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. If you see that red subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, that means you have not yet subscribed to us. What are you waiting for? Just do it now. And then share us with all your friends and family and turn on your notifications so you're notified anytime we go live. Monday nights is baseball night. Tuesday nights is football night. Wednesday on Sports Exchange, you never know what you're going to get. Thursday nights on Fire Up. Well, tonight we're going to talk a little bit about, these college coaches are dropping like flies. They keep firing them left and right. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Aiden Hutchinson's new contract extension and some of the other trades in the NFL. So tune in, find out what else we're going to be talking about tonight. And then, last but not least, again, that red subscribe button. Click it like a share us and tell all your friends and family about us. Back to you, Scott.
Well, the Detroit Lions are proving that they're going to keep a lot of their best players. This move is just another means that they're going to do it. They're going to keep their best players intact. So good move for the Lions. They've signed a lot of their other players towards their contract extension, and we'll get them another. We'll leave it for another time. But I'm glad that Candy brought that up. So Aiden Hutchinson, Detroit Lions, and all that. And they have a game this weekend against the Minnesota Vikings. So on behalf of George Eichhorn, Cody Spink, and Jillian Schumacher, my name is Scott Morganroth. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Sports Wrap. We will see you next Thursday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you very much for joining us. And once again, great job to my group. I'm proud of everyone. Good night, everybody.
Good night.